let's talk about this space where we're sitting, the Neil Sutra fashion store at the Oberoi Hotel in Gurgaon. You've designed this. What was the brief over here?
You know, Ashish and Deepika, when they first met me, they own the store. And when they first met me, they said, you know, we have the store and we're sitting next to Gucci and Burberry and Jimmy Choo, which are these sort of behemoths, you know, as such, and like firmly established brands. So they said, we've come to you because we want you to create something which is definitely Indian and yet has to have a design presence of its own.
It should be able to attract attention in the middle of Jimmy Choo and Gucci and the others.
Yes, it has to hold its own.
So let's see what you did. Let's begin with the entrance. You put a 15 feet high zinc door. It looks like the door of a fortress.
Yeah, well, it was inspired by what you see at well, most of the forts and fortresses in India. So you would have these timber doors which had sort of a thin film of metal sort of beaten all over them. And we had the shortest frontage. We had the lowest frontage. Everybody else has 20 feet. We had 15. So we made the giant opaque door to sort of make a statement. And
to draw quick attention to the store.
Yes.
Your entrance is like a fortress, but the inside is like a hut.
Yes, so it was, again, it was meant to sort of, you know, it's a series of contradictions and cross conversations, right? So this was shaped like how a child would sort of draw a little house, like the house of Indian fashion, or so to speak.
You used 11 different kinds of timber around here. Why is that?
Because this was meant to be a curated store with a certain number of designers. So we were given the number of designers that would be curated.
11 designers showing their clothes here.
Out of here, yes.
So you used 11 timber.
We used 11 forgotten Indian timbers.
Yeah. Why forgotten?
Well, I think we tend to not go by what is our material resource. We tend to go by what's available to us in the market. I think a lot of...
What are these forgotten timbers you've used here?
There's Paduk, which is like this bright red, almost sindoor-like timber. There's Safeda, which is eucalyptus. There's a little bit of poplar, and there's mango, and there's babool, which is basically a red kikar tree. So these.
And why they're forgotten? What are people using instead these days?
I think a lot of design and especially the building industry design has become a lot about products available in the market and available off the shelf, ready to use and easy
products
to use.
Like wood like?
Well, you have oak, you have timbers that are coming from Africa like Wenge.
But what's the idea behind reviving these forgotten Indian timbers then?
I think there's no...
What's the statement you're making here?
I think there's no easier way to make a cultural connection or the connection to the spirit of a place than to start using the materials that come out of that space.
What's also interesting is that the store is called Neil Sutra, blue thread. Yes. So you've got a blue thread installation over here.
Yes. And this came from a friend who, who helped us with the brand. So the story of the weave does play into this entire narrative.
And it's about branding.
Yes.
How do customers feel when they're out here?
I've been told that there are people who come in very often, would like to sit in the store and order a cup of coffee or something to sip or drink or eat, and they'll actually call for things from stores like Gucci and Burberry and all, and they'll say, come and show us your wares here, because we'd like to just sit here.
Sit over here and have a look at Gucci.
Yes.